Hello. How are we doing? Here we are, our first official podcast. I'm producer Cal, and you may have seen me messing around with setting this whole thing up on our Patreon earlier today. Anyway, here we are. Yeah. Great. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see you, Eric. You've been with us a while, I think, on our Patreon side of things. Good to have you. Yeah, okay. So, managed to spruce up the background a bit, added some lighting. Doesn't look too bad, I don't think. Ivy League, yes, you were just coming off your night shift, I think you said earlier when you were joining us for the testing, so nice for you to drop back in. It's been a bit of an adventure, this, actually, today. As with all things, it's going to be a little bit of me sort of testing stuff out. But everything seems to be operating normally, which is always good. I'm keeping an eye on our Patreon feed here. I've got this here. Hello, Dane. Nice to see you. I've got, obviously, my main controls here, my soundboard here. It's all a bit crazy. I've never done this before. So this isn't what I do, but, you know, here we go. Fun enough, friends of mine, who, if you've seen How to Kill Monsters, one of the feature films we helped produce recently, Lindsay Crane does a gaming stream over on Twitch. And I was watching hers last night, so I was a little bit inspired to give this a kick, because we wanted to use this as an opportunity to be able to talk to you guys, get your questions, to have some live interactions, and, hey, develop this going forward. So, thinking in terms of what we can do with this, you know, have our cast join us, do live readings, maybe even, you know, cheeky premieres, things like that. There's a whole range of things we can do, I'm sure. But always a good time to learn how to live stream from desktop. Yeah, apparently so. And I mean, hey, even though I'm in my mid-40s, it's never too late to learn, right? So everyone, I think, is everyone here so far from the States? Well, from Canada. Sorry, Dane. I know you already said. But I know most of our Patreons and listeners in general, that's across streamers, are US based. Good 50% of you, in fact, actually. Oh, we got a question from Eric. Will we get a female werewolf girl character in the show that has a short pixie haircut at all in the story that helps Emily as a werewolf friend? That's very specific, Eric. I mean, who knows? I'm partial to a pixie cut. Not me personally, but, you know. Hey, who knows? Who knows? I'll be able to answer questions as much as I possibly can do with regards to the plot. I can't tell you everything. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but yeah, I will go as far as I am able. North American fan base, yeah, I'd definitely say that's true. Funnily enough, 50% US and then 10% from Brazil. Never saw that coming, but hey, always welcome wherever you are. We've got people listening from all over the planet. In fact, if I look at our RSS feed here, super interesting all this since we started doing this. The places is absolutely staggering. What we got here? We've got people all over North America, a few in South America, Australia, Pakistan, crikey, we've even got Middle East there. Look at that now. Some in Russia, France, Germany, Ireland. Some in the middle of the ocean. Well, maybe they were listening on a ship. I don't know, but that's a bit weird. But yeah, this has been an interesting journey so far. And you know what? I don't think we ever intended that we would do live streaming as part of the community, but I think it makes sense. It feels like it makes sense, and even if it's not, you know, I don't know if it'll be all the time, but we'll try and do it fairly regularly based on today. It's all a bit of an experiment, and that's what TFD has always been. It's always been trying new stuff out, seeing what lands, what doesn't, and going from there. And I'm curious to obviously hear about any thoughts you guys have got with what you've thought to TFD so far. Anything you'd like to see in the future. Obviously, you know a lot about our plans if you've been following our behind-the-scenes content, our interviews, especially mine and Julia's update videos about where we are with things. Yeah, let's use the time to pick me dry, pick my bones, so to speak. Obviously, I'll try and answer things as much as I possibly can do. As I say, when it comes to story or anything like that, I will tell you as much as without giving too much away. This is a live across the board stream, so for anyone who hasn't listened to all of season 1 yet, might have to spoil. I suppose I can go into details there. Season 2, I'll be a little bit careful about, because so far season 2 has only been released on Patreon. We're 5 episodes into that, soon to be 6. Dane, here's a general question. When you first started Tales from Davidstown, did you ever expect it to explode into popularity? I don't know if I'd say it's exploded yet, but it's doing all right, isn't it? Did I expect... I mean, you can never expect these things, right? I think my main goal from what I do, I just want to make something cool. I want to tell a good story. Yeah. Ontario. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Is it Margaret? Am I pronouncing that right? But yes, thank you very much. And you know, we've had some lovely comments from people, and that has been super heartwarming, actually. You know, when you create something like this and you're creating characters and writing them, and they kind of become your children a little bit, strangely enough. And it's nice to, you know, when people connect with characters and they enjoy it, you know, it's nice. It's nice. It's a feel-good thing. It's a very feel-good thing. Let's change up the music. I'm going for lo-fi. I'd love a bit of lo-fi, background lo-fi. When will season 2 be released publicly? Yeah, I hear you. Not everyone has got the money to support us on Patreon, unfortunately. This is kind of why we've had to extend out of Patreon. I can't tell you a date for the season 2, sorry, just now, because I don't think we're far enough into the season for what we've produced on Patreon to be able to put it out on the publics, if you will. That said, if I was going to hazard a guess, and it is a guess, so don't hold me to this, I would say it's going to be summer this year. That's what I think we're going to aim for. Now, there are always different factors involved when it comes to making this series. First of all, yeah, budget always plays a part. And when I mean budget, I mean, you know, as long as we're making the money, it still keeps being made, because everything we make from Patreon goes straight back into the project. It pays for our comic pages to be made, and they're expensive. It pays for our actors, and, you know, not a lot else, because we don't make a lot at the moment, but there we go. Other things we've got to consider as well is what our actors are up to. They don't just do Tales from Davidstown. They're actors. They're full-time actors, a lot of them, most of them. And they have other projects, and they travel the world, and sometimes they're leaving the country. Yeah, logistics. One thing I've found in the 2 years since we've been producing this is, you know, things don't always go according to plan. But anyway, yeah, I would hazard a guess, season 2, sometime in the summer. Just watch this space. We'll keep you up to date. Yep. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, just to talk a little bit more about our cast, if any of you that know the UK know that it's not a particularly massive country, but it's big enough, you know. Getting from one place to the next is challenging, and especially with our trains. But in terms of our cast, yeah, everyone's scattered all over. So if you didn't know, we're based in York, in England, which is kind of in the middle of Great Britain, if you will. And we've got a cast who live in London, live in Manchester, Bradford. Danny is from Bradford. All over the place. So, yeah. Getting them up to York sometimes isn't the quickest or easiest thing to do, especially when they've got jobs elsewhere. So, Captain TF 101. Any live action in the works? Well, you may have seen the tests. This is a good segue. I can test this out. We have been doing tests for, obviously, the very super important part of any werewolf story is a werewolf transformation. Obviously, limited budget allows us to do so much, but we do a lot of R&D as much as we can do. Obviously, we have to pour a lot of our time and resources into the production of the audio series, as well as our day jobs, because we don't do this full time, unfortunately, as yet, because, yeah, we need more money. Hint, hint. Yeah, but we're trying R&D things as much as we possibly can. We have created a few tests. You will have seen the VFX test shot that we put out a couple of years ago, actually, and that exploded. That exploded. If you're not familiar with it, which I'm sure you are, I'm going to actually play this now. Here we go. This thing here, this on YouTube has had something like 210,000 plays, which is insane. And we made this just to see, could we, I guess. And Danny is a phenomenal actress, absolutely loves playing this character. And it's short and it's sweet, I guess. And if you love werewolves, well, a lot of people do, apparently. So we've done stuff like that. We've started experimenting with practical elements, so special effects makeup, that's like the hair, the prosthetics on bits and pieces like that. And the plan is, as we progress slightly further into our financial goals, is that we're able to then start to think about manufacturing the expensive stuff. And if there's one thing that filmmaking is, it's expensive. Even the low budget stuff, and it doesn't go far. It doesn't go far. Sam, hi. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, so R&Ding as much as we possibly can. Practical effects, I think, is always going to be our goal, because, you know, there's some absolutely insane benchmarks to try and beat. And if we're going to do something like a werewolf thing, and you've got to do a werewolf transformation, or multiple ones, depending on, you know, you're always going to get compared to things like American Werewolf in London, The Howling, or, you know, the big ones. But they're so old. They're so old, and I haven't seen recently anyone that kind of competes with that. So, but we don't want to go down the digital route, because that is just as expensive as doing practical. It doesn't always work in my book. So let's keep it practical, but let's make it good. We want to make something memorable, like really, really memorable. I think we did a poll a while back. What do people like seeing? Do they like seeing practical effects? Do they like seeing digital effects more? Well, it turns out a vast majority of people wanted to see something with really good quality practical effects, improved slightly or added to slightly, shall we say, with VFX. So, not old, but retro. Yes, Stain. Yeah, I mean, can I describe myself as retro in that case? I'm about the same age as those movies, The Howling and American Werewolf. So can I be retro? But yeah, going back to the digital side of things. Yeah, for example, and this is something that we previewed to our Patreon members a while back. Let's get this played. Oop, I am getting the hang of this. There we go. So, for example, so you can see that Danny's got some teeth, some dentures in there that we've acquired for her. She had some hair prosthetics on her sort of upper torso, and the nails obviously as well. And then obviously the eyes are a digital effect. And that's the sort of thing we're playing with. It's like, what can you do that looks good, but on a fairly limited budget? And that's kind of how indie filmmaking is, you know. It's, you want it to look ace, you want it to look really good, but, you know, we haven't got millions of dollars to play with, which is not yet anyway, you know. And this is why we do all the other stuff. This is why we have our Patreon. This is why we make our graphic novel. This is why we start doing things like this now, chatting with you guys, so we can, you know, I guess build the better werewolf. I don't know. But we've got other creatures too. Again, if you've listened to season 1, you'll know we've got werewolves, we've got witches, we've got vampires, we've got Huli Jing, which most people hadn't heard of up until we'd introduced them to that. The Huli Jing is the Chinese version of a kitsune. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, which is the character Mei Ling. But yeah, so, and transformation really forms a big part of the series, not just from a supernatural perspective, but also for all the characters, like character growth, and that's something that we're really passionate about. As me as a storyteller and as a filmmaker, and in general, is I want to see good characters. I want to see good stories. So we're really kind of trying to build everything based on that idea of a person becoming something else. You know, both physically, mentally, all those things. Sam, Paul was a shocker to me in episode 12. Good. Yeah, I've got to admit, I enjoyed that plot twist. Paul was an interesting character in as far as we didn't know what we were going to do with him up until about episode 9, and I think when we got to that point, I sat down with Daniel Thrace, the actor who plays Paul, and said, we need to, let's have a chat, let's brainstorm some stuff here, because at the minute Paul's a bit of a wet lettuce. He's not really doing anything, he's kind of just moping and chasing around. So we sat around and chatted about, you know, where we could take it, and ultimately, yeah, it led to him not being completely Paul and being possessed by Eric, the hideously mutated guardian. And that made for a really nice, really good scene in episode 12, I thought, when you've got Eric suddenly going from being this kind of big stoic leader creature to an emotional wreck because he's lonely as hell. And I think a lot of people sort of connected with that, funnily enough. But yeah, he kind of went a bit cray-cray, as someone on the comments in one of the videos said. Are we going to be delving into Japanese mythology at all? I mean, hell, I'd love to. I love Japanese culture. Like, I love Japanese culture. It depends. I guess it depends. I think the most obvious one, and a lot of people have assumed this because we haven't specifically said it in season 1, is that the white fox, Mei Ling, is kitsune. She's not. She's Huli Jing because she's Chinese. So we couldn't. I don't think we could use a kitsune because we've already got a Huli Jing, which is basically very similar. But there are lots of other Japanese, shall we say, potential entities out there. But as to how they might factor in, I don't know. Not yet, anyway. Hell, if this thing goes for a while, a few seasons, and maybe even, I'd like to think we might have a Japanese character in there at some point. Who knows? But yeah. Sam, I was like, he's got to be not so human. Yeah, well, I mean, he is human. He was just kind of not, you know, he was being puppeted by a former human, now hideous monster. But yeah, but we enjoy doing that. So if there's one thing I think you might see more of, if you haven't sort of seen a lot of through season 1, if you've been listening to season 2 on Patreon as a member, I do like throwing red herrings at you all, just to keep things interesting. And that's good. That's the fun part of storytelling, especially when it's your own, you know, it's the universe that we've created, well, creating. We get to have our own twists and everything, but yeah, we don't always want everything. We never want anything being obvious. We just want it. We want it exciting and interesting. Especially when it comes to more established lore, like say the werewolf. I shall say no more. We start with the obvious one, full moons and such, but it's going to change a little bit. It's going to change a little bit. I don't know how you pronounce that. I'll have to check that out on Wikipedia, is it? Okay. I shall check it out after the stream. But we've looked at creatures from all over the world. We've looked at legends from Africa, from Brazil, from North America. I think a lot of people have sort of favourites when it comes to certain mythical creatures, especially sort of that. I guess you might call them were creatures. I suppose there's lots of different kind of creatures that turn into people that turn into stuff. But it always makes me wonder, what would make something interesting? And one of the main reasons why we ended up with Mei Ling was almost purely down to the fact that I'd worked with Fen Fen, the actress who plays Mei Ling, before on How to Kill Monsters, who she stars in that. And we got on like a house on fire, and I was like, I've got to get her in something of my own, and yeah, there we go. A were-snake. Fun fact, Julia hates snakes. Like, she's terrified. She's like Indiana Jones level terrified of snakes. Dane, what we really need is a Canadian character. Hint, hint, hint. Oh man. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I can't say too much. But what I will say is a lot of the stuff that we're going to be... There's a bunch of stuff that's going to happen in our third season, when we get to that we're already hinting at now, which I'm quite excited about. So that we shall see. But yeah, a diverse cast as much as you can have in England, with a slightly international feel. And we're just kind of trying stuff out, seeing what we get, and seeing how, what the response is from everybody. And that's why it's been super interesting to finally get season 1 out on YouTube, on Spotify, on Amazon Music, and the rest. Because now we've got this wider audience and people listening to it for, different elements. Some people listening to it for the horror-ish sort of elements. Some people are listening to it for the character, more the character stuff, or for the mystery kind of thing, or the sort of supernatural adventure kind of. Yeah, it's an interesting one, this. So yeah. Sam, I love Emily's growth throughout season 1. Can't wait for the release of season 2 on YouTube. Sam, Emily's growth. Wow, you think she's been on a journey now? She's she's got some really interesting things coming her way. And the thing is, we said with Emily, because obviously she's our main lead character, or one of our pretty much main lead characters. We said she has to suffer. She has to suffer, and oh boy. Yeah, she's had a pretty rough one. She's had Jason Priest. I got a bit of a kick out of some of the comments that said, "Oh, I'm so happy Jason got messed up by Paul," because he did. He said, "Yeah, he's a piece of work." But expertly played by Daniel Bruce, who is the loveliest guy, by the way. Absolute loveliest man you'll ever meet. He just plays an arse. And I'm trying not to swear. I'm really trying not to swear. But yeah, Jason Priest is a POS. And I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, Emily has suffered. That's it, yes. So she's had to go through that abusive relationship, escaping Bradford, running away, essentially, trying to restart her life. And then just when she thought she was on a fresh start, she's in the wrong place at the wrong time, outside the Priory, and is attacked by a werewolf. So yeah, other parts of the story we haven't yet completely covered. But yeah, so, and now of course she's going for the whole thing of trying to learn how to be a werewolf. A piece of work, yeah, Jason is a piece of work. That's the polite way of putting it. A Russian werebear, Soviet spy. Werebears used to be a toy when I was a kid. You had to turn, like a teddy bear that you turned inside out, and it had like a scary face and claws and things. But in all seriousness, I think we'd struggle having any kind of Russian character in this at the moment, just with certain world events. But you never know. We have got some bigger or more established characters to flesh out some more. Mainly our Huli Jing, Mei Ling. She's got a lot more stuff to come in season 2. She is a huge part of season 2, in fact. The main reason she wasn't in a chunk of season 1, and this is all down to logistics, and this is the joy of being a producer. Fen went away to the Middle East for like 6 months to go shoot something, and we couldn't get hold of it. We couldn't record with her, so consequently we had to wait till she got back before we could even write her back in. So thankfully we got her in there. But Mei Ling, massive backstory, huge part of season 2. We're going to discover a little bit more about Serafina. Obviously our resident witch needs some love as well. We're going to learn a bit about everybody. Paul, Jess has got a big plot arc coming in season 2. Hobbs, obviously doing Hobbs stuff. Hobbs is a badass, actually. Hobbs is a badass. Played by Samantha Mazzagno. Again, all lovely people. And Sam just plays it so well. She's so dry. And the way she plays Hobbs, we always have a giggle the way she delivers stuff, and it's just absolutely brilliant. Nordic mythology, absolutely. There's a lot of crossover with European mythology, as it turns out. In fact, we even use, as part of season 1, if you recall, there was the German diary called The Wolf of Ansbach. Now, what you might have not known is that the Wolf of Ansbach is an actual German werewolf legend that we borrowed, commandeered. Well, we wanted to make something a part of it, and we thought it was going to be fun if we could actually create or utilize some real world stuff and make it part of the TFD lore. So yeah, look that up, The Wolf of Ansbach. Not strictly the same legend as we've portrayed it, but yeah. Sheesh, the ending of episode 12 was like, the boss lady at the club got to be the villain. Oh, Sam. Interesting. Yes, you're the boss lady, Evangeline Carista. Yeah, there's a lot coming. There's a lot coming your way with that character too. I'd love to tell you everything. I mean, I would, but I don't, because I want you to be surprised. You know, I want you to enjoy the twists and the turns and such. But yeah, you will definitely be seeing a lot more of Evangeline Carista, who is again kind of breadcrumbed in, but she becomes a fully fledged member of the cast for season 2. And if you're not sure, if you're on Patreon, you'll have seen her. And I think if you're followers on our Instagram, you might have seen her as well. I'm just trying to see if I can. Now I'm going to try and do something live here and add an image. So let's see if let me try this. Hang on a second. Where are we? Image. There we go. Still getting used to this software. Okay. I'm going to the vault that is the Tales from Davidstown archives. Here we go. And where is she? Where is she? There she is. Oop. That picture is huge. Let me move this around. Oop. Don't know. If there's a way of making this smaller easy, if someone let me know, that'd be great. But anyway, there she is. I probably was trying to make that smaller, but yeah. Someone else, we got an amazing actress. That's his actress Sarah Jane Duncan, playing our resident vampire. So there you go. But yeah, you will be seeing more of her in season 2 as well. What about a Were Cerberus? Well, what about it indeed? Oh, guys, come on. I'm just going to be smiling at you smugly whenever you say something, and I try not to give it too much away. The three-headed werewolf. It's the Cerberus is an old, I think it's an old Greek legend, isn't it? That guards the gates of hell. It's a dog that guards the gates of hell, something like that. Something like that. I can't remember. Dane, every episode when you think you've figured out everything, the next episode you'll be like, no, I haven't. Good. Good. As we say. Yeah. I like to keep you all guessing. My, what big ears you have. Mm-hmm. Jess, well, we'll see. We'll see. She's got a interesting story ahead of her in season 2. Hades' dog, that's the one. Yes. Yes. I have a limited receptacle of nerdery in my brain these days. It used to be a lot better when I was younger, but I guess that's age. Man. Yeah, so Jess, we try and give everyone, as in the characters, everyone a good amount of character development. We don't want any kind of, I don't know, wasted opportunities with everybody. So I'm trying to make sure that, I mean, although we're focusing more on some characters than others, and those other characters may get more attention in, say, future seasons. Will we see Hades in the storyline? I'd never considered it, but hey, who knows? If there's a way to work in some more mythology from around the world, you never know. Dark Rift Horror! Hey! We were just talking about you earlier. Good to see you. I'm assuming this is Stuart, director Stuart Spark. I mentioned How to Kill Monsters earlier, and Dark Rift Horror is the brains behind that one. So, if you're partial to a bit of amazing British comedy horror, check it out. I'm going to plug our own film, Stuart. Yeah, I thought it might be. Thanks for joining us, man. Yeah. I've been talking for half an hour. Good God, these things go really quickly. I was just saying, Stuart, Lindsay's stream re-inspired me watching her playing that game last night. So, yeah, if anyone gets a chance to check out Lindsay Crane, Scream Queen extraordinaire. Thank you. The Blu-ray's coming in May in the UK, I believe. Is that right? You can stream it online now, I believe, everywhere. But yes, Lindsay Crane, check her out on the on Twitch, the Dark Rift streamer. She plays scary games, and it's very, very funny. So, okay, rather than me just ramble at you for another 30 minutes, unless you've got any more questions, I had thought what we could do is listen to episode 12 together, and I'd just chat about the episode live with you. A little bit of a director's commentary, I suppose, if that sounds like fun for everybody. And then if we've got any sort of ideas or suggestions what we could do for future streams, stick it in the chat so we can see it. And yeah, we just try and work out what we're going to do with this going forward. There we go. Okie dokie. So I need to chill with the chill music. There we go. It needs a fader, doesn't it? It's very abrupt, going from to nothing. Oh well. Okay. I'm going to have to override my own voice in this as well in a second. You're listening? Yep, there we go. We don't need to hear that. Right, so we're going to go straight into the episode.
It's from Davidstown.
Fuck! Hang on! What the hell is that thing?
Why tell her that she killed her friend?
Let's just call it a test of character.
It's time you found out what's
Kind of crazy to think we finished this episode a year ago.
You want answers, right? So do I.
And it was a big endeavour. Longest episode we've done by that point.
Where? To see the person in charge.
And yeah, nearly an hour long. And when we consider that the pilot we did was 8 minutes. Wow. Yeah, things have grown, and that's just, that's how this whole thing's gone. We've grown it. We've explored. We've experimented, and here's where we've ended up. So, and I've got to say right now, I love this theme tune. This was composed for us by composer Richard Collins. Love it. It just absolutely, blows my mind every time I hear it.
How can you drive with the glass cracked like that? Just a guess. That thing back there wasn't your first rodeo.
One of the main reasons... Oh, the pilot was when you got hooked. Well, that's good news.
Where are we even going?
A lot of this episode was us going... We wanted to wrap up the season. We had a lot of things to wrap up, which is why it's so long. But we also wanted to make sure we got a little bit more development in with people, especially Hobbs, who tells this really kind of harrowing story of what happens to her on the ship.
Sound familiar?
You're implying we're the same?
Not the same, but hell, I mean, similar, right? We both look for the truth and bring it out into the open.
Except I don't do this for personal gain.
And this is one of my favourite episodes, actually.
What?
And it took a lot of work.
Don't.
All you care about is your fame and your Facebook likes.
A lot of work.
Facebook
I think this was 2 weeks to record.
That's not really the point.
And 3 weeks to edit. So if you ever wonder how long it takes us to produce an episode,
I make a living out of my work,
when they get to this length,
It's
takes a
easy
while.
for you to say when you've got it.
Oh, you make it sound like I'm loaded or something.
You're not?
I do all right, but stop steering the conversation away.
The only thing I'm interested in is steering this car, which is being made a lot harder with you bleating down my ear.
My point is, we both look for the same thing. Answers.
One thing that we did a lot in season 1 was we wanted people to sort of wonder who is actually on Emily's side. So when she meets Mei Ling, first was like, what's her? A lot of people are like, what's her deal? I'm not sure I trust her. And then we met Serafina. Definitely the same issue because she's much more antagonistic, I'd say, and Hobbs as well. But they've all every character we wanted to make sure they all had their own motives, their own goals, and they just happened to be a lot of the time heading in the same direction almost, or being dragged in the same direction towards a singular person, which is Emily Hargreaves.
This is getting us nowhere. Look, all I want in the world is to find Emily, all right? I'd give everything.
There was one of those phrases that just kept coming up in the script now that I've listened back to it. It was like, where is Emily Hargreaves? Where is Emily Hargreaves? And it's like, yeah, we need to stop saying that.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Everything.
We've got a great array even of different British accents, which a lot of people haven't come across before. So, for example, Danny's accent is a West Yorkshire Bradford accent. We've got Michaela, who plays Jess, and Sam Mazzagno. They're more Manchester. They both are living in Manchester, so they're more Manchester-based. Fen Fen, obviously, is Chinese. From round about the Shanghai region, I believe. Yeah, we've had a German accent in there too, absolutely. Dan Thraces, he's more York.
About 20 years ago, I was stationed on a destroyer.
Yeah, a whole mix of different accents.
We were sailing the ship out to Iraq, part of the invasion task force.
What? You were in the Navy?
I was a USO, unit security officer. Not more than a year and a half out of the Naval College. Green as green.
Go on.
So this Navy story comes out of a couple of things. I myself was a huge Navy nerd and tried to get a commission when I was about 20. Didn't make it, unfortunately, but I learned a lot of stuff. So that's why I wanted to put that in there, and also that the destroyer, the D90, as she refers it, is actually otherwise known as HMS York, which is obviously the city we're in.
Did you find him?
In a manner of speaking. We've been looking a good hour, maybe 2, when we caught sight of blood on the walls outside the store's compartment. One of the ratings opens the hatch, and there he was, face down on the floor, pale as pale and no pulse. The first thing that came to mind was...
And this is obviously, if anyone who heard this, has listened to this, will know exactly the sort of thing she's describing.
Slowly, right in front of me, eyes white, blood spilling out of his mouth, gurgling and hacking.
What the fuck?
He lunges at me.
We didn't use the Z word, but I think it's obvious.
Suddenly I'm fighting this guy off. The ratings grab him and I'm trying to pull him away. I'm shouting and yelling at him, but...
Yeah, Samantha, who plays Hobbs, again, phenomenal actor.
Closer.
And they all are. They always give 100%, 110% or more. You really get that emotion across.
He tries to wedge himself between us. And suddenly, George turns and bites down right on this kid's neck and just rips it
And this
away.
episode was, I mean, not just for the length, but the sheer amount of sound effects that goes on top of all the voice acting, as well as the music. I think this, with the length that it was, I think it was something like 850 different files total. It's crazy, absolutely bonkers episode.
It's my eardrum. But George lets go and hits the floor.
Oh, and he's called George because of,
Everything is silent.
have a guess.
Save for the ringing in my ear. So I clear the blood out of my eyes. And then George gets back up.
How?
The rating fires again. Twice more in the chest. Nothing. George just pisses blood everywhere and staggers at me. And I've no more time. I pull my gun and he's already on me. Next thing I know, his head explodes. Something in me kicked in.
I love the sound effects, it's so satisfying.
And I pull the trigger.
Oh my god. What happened to him?
Never found out.
Zombie!
Messed my head up pretty badly, to be honest. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. At least, not up to that point.
One thing we actually do one thing we do utilise a lot in the characters and in the story as well is really kind of using mental health and trying to sort of ground everybody in that very real kind of way based on their experiences, especially with something like Hobbs here, who saw something traumatic and sent her into a hellhole for a while.
Couldn't function, drunk. He accused the captain and the XO of covering the whole thing up, telling the crew George was on drugs and had just lost his mind.
Most of these people have a very dark past
So yeah,
in different ways. Some more real than others.
relentless nightmares.
I'm sorry. That must have been awful.
Took time, but eventually I recovered. With a lot of help from that same chaplain. Got back on my feet, and a few years later, joined the force. But I could never shake it.
What had happened to George?
Whatever it was, it was...
Yeah, so if you hadn't guessed, he's named George because he's a zombie. George Romero. There you go.
He'd died. And then he came back as something
Yeah,
else.
anxiety is a huge one. Anxiety is a huge one. I think anyone who lives in the world of Davidstown would probably have problems with anxiety. God knows I would.
Yeah. Now, you tell me exactly what's happened that's given you nightmares.
So there's a few instances where Mei Ling speaks Chinese. Obviously, we work with Fen Fen to use that. And that's really just to give that wonderful flavour to that character. And it's such a lovely sounding language as well. And if you want to know what she's actually saying,
Is there a reason you're staring?
you can get the scripts
I've known you
on
for
our
a long
Patreon, and you can read
time.
those, and you can actually
I've
see
ever
the translations.
been The praying kind. Concerned about this evening.
We will need all the help we can get. Are you
And
prepared?
here playing Serafina is actress Aviana Snow.
Positively giddy.
You know what I mean.
There are a few kinks to your plan I have yet to work out.
She's got her delivery is always almost so melodic, Very interesting.
I am aware of that.
Very good
Then you should
performance.
also be aware that this poses significant danger to me and to your friend.
I will assist you as much as I'm able.
What is the danger? Well,
Filled
you'll
with so
find
much
out.
confidence, especially considering the condition you came to me in.
My condition is sound. But what dangers are there for the girl?
See? For all those books you seem to hoard, you'd still be lost without me.
Oh, spit
And
it
these two have a long history together.
Your tone
Or rather
is
knowing
ancient
each other for a long time, and there's again a
helped
deeper
through
story
as well.
there, which is definitely tied to Seraphina's side of things, and we'll be touching on that a bit in
Meaning
season
your
2 as well.
ritual Isn't simply to find a lycanthrope. If done incorrectly, it may fundamentally alter one.
Alter? Alter how?
Hard to say. It may permanently trap the creature in its current form, or
Kill her.
indeed, hence the need to tweak things slightly.
And you can do this?
Has there ever
And the ritual itself, yes, does play a bigger part in the story, a much bigger
It is not
part,
your power,
especially that's something that we touch on in season 2. So we're always trying to feed into the next thing, rather than it just being plot point, the end, plot point, the end. We wanted to make sure that everything has a very kind of organic,
I want your word.
long arching narrative to it.
Don't take me for some loathsome magi. And you, I told you to stay out of my way. Do not make me ask again.
Where are you going?
There is more work to be done, remember? I'll be back in a few hours. There's something at the farmhouse that needs my attention.
Keep Eric out of this.
And one of the interesting things with this, and in doing this project, was that none of the actors
Are you all right?
so far have ever done those scenes together. They always do them separately. So the way we run it is they come into the studio here, they read their lines 2 or 3 times more, sometimes in different ways. We explore the scenes and we get loads of different versions of each line as we need. And then we choose all the best bits,
Emily.
like the best notes almost, and then assemble them on a timeline
It's the not knowing
to get
what's
hopefully the perfect scene, and then add the sound effects and then the music.
And now there's a danger I might be trapped as a werewolf? Is that what she meant by that?
Perhaps. But do not take her ramblings too much to heart. She rarely speaks in straight terms.
You mean she lies?
Not so much lies, more bends the truth.
That doesn't exactly make me
And
feel
music has
better.
played such a huge part of this series, especially because it's an audio series. But I think music is so important to tell stories and like really get emotions across. And I think, yeah, we've been so lucky to have access to such amazing music in this series that really helps us tell the story.
Good. Fear is just in your mind. No matter what happens in life, your discomforts will be the things that help you grow the most.
Are you talking about me? Or me turning into a giant wolf?
All I'm saying is, keep an open mind. There is a balance that must be restored, and it is important that you are not distracted, especially during the ritual.
Alright. I'll do as best as I can. For Jess.
And we talk about the balance a lot, which is
What is it?
really this notion of
Listen to me.
we have to keep in balance in order to really get through our lives. But we take it into a much more literal sense with Tales from Davidstown, because we've got the dark wilds, the other universe, our own, and then the balance that we have to find in ourselves. And we use this idea quite a lot. And again, plugging season 2, going into that as well, is a really big part of the story.
你很快就会知道了。
And then back to Paul and Jason Priest.
This is taking too long. I'm running out of time.
And I gotta say, like, Dan took this kind of psychotic almost side of Paul to the nth degree and really sold it. Like, it was quite scary listening to it, actually.
But to do no harm, huh? I never took that oath. priest. My duties are to God, this place, and to Emily.
Duty to Emily. Wait. Now I get it. You're fucking in love with her, aren't you? That's what all this is about.
That is none of your business.
You sliced me up, torn out my fingernails for what? That crazy little bitch.
Do not talk about her that way!
Like, he's had his fingernails pulled out. He's been sliced it with a scalpel, and yet we still don't feel sorry for him, do we?
Stop it! This isn't right. I wasn't meant to be this way.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Quiet! Listen to me. I am running out of time. And if that means I need to hurt you more, then I will. Do not test my patience any further.
I've told you everything I know.
Historically, there's been a lot of shouting in this series, especially with werewolf transformations, with being sliced to bits, with general anguish and agony. It's a good job we've got soundproofing.
I have to be responsible.
This is what she does. Don't you understand? She runs. She hides. She's afraid of her own fucking shadow half the time. I mean, look at you. Look what you've done to me. If she saw this, she'd never want to speak to you again. I tried to toughen her up a bit. I had to control her. I couldn't.
This is actually based on a real life thing that I've experienced with, or not directly, but through chatting with somebody, and it was truly awful. But yeah, the things that people are capable of is truly frightening. Arguably, the biggest monster in season 1 is probably Jason Priest.
What? In this place?
In Davidstown, you fucking cretin! She made a new life here. With her friends and with me.
She doesn't know you. What?
Sam, this part made me shiver. Yeah, but these guys did a great job with this scene. Really great job.
Piece of shit, but you're a fucking monster.
Shut up! Shut up!
Eric and Warrior of Woes. Yes, we'll cover those questions after this. That's okay.
Who are you?
What?
Where?
Not only is Dan a fantastic actor, he's also a great writer. If you are a member of our Patreon, then you may have listened to our prequel audiobook series called 1916, which is written by Dan. He's a very good writer as well as a great actor.
Only a handful of people even know this old farm exists.
No, not now!
Help! Help! Help me! No!
Did you hear that? Sounded like shouting.
I'm glad you mentioned the sound effects, Sam, because yeah, it's so crucial that we really spend a lot of time working on the sound design. just to really get the whole kind of emotion across to the listener. I kind of want people to like listen to it, and in their if they had their eyes shut, right, they'd almost be able to visualize it like they're watching a movie. That's why it's so important.
Well, it's nothing like anyone you've ever met before. I need you to stay calm and not leap into one of your Jess Wilder saves the day specials.
My what?
Let
I love that line.
Understand?
What the hell are you talking about? Oh, fine.
Follow me.
Jesus. This place hasn't seen any love since the 90s by the look of it.
Shh. Eric, it's Julie. Are you there?
Another actor coming up who's we've worked with a bunch of times, Mr. Johnny Vivash, who plays the voice of Eric.
No. No power, it's off the grid.
Great. Ghost house vibes it is then.
Eric? Can you hear me?
Who is this guy?
And I haven't mentioned a lot about Michaela Longdon, who plays Jess. She's just... I'm just going to gush about everybody. She's amazing. Not only is she an incredible human being, she's also a phenomenal actor. And yeah, a beautiful soul.
What are you?
Do not be afraid. I appreciate my appearances unsettling.
And despite all the voice effects, there's an Irish accent in there as well, because Johnny is Irish. So he brings that accent to our universe as well.
Imagine two worlds coexisting, side by side, yet separated by time and space, save for weak points where ley lines converge. By God's grace, I act as a living barrier holding the energies of the realm we call the Dark Wilds at bay.
So the Dark Wilds is a parallel universe to ours, where a lot of the supernatural, if not all the supernatural energies, if you will, have originated and have slowly made their way into ours and have created creatures like werewolves, guardians, vampires, things like that. And this scene was great because it allowed us to start getting characters together. It also allowed us to start explaining the universe a little bit more and the mechanics of it. And I didn't just want everything to just suddenly, or to be like a lot of supernatural stuff where it just is and that's it. I wanted to create reasons for things existing and create rules and systems around that. And the Dark Wilds, the Dark Light, plays a huge part in that process and in the story.
You are forcing me to take harsher measures, Julie. I will need to empty her mind.
What? You won't touch her. You can't simply solve all your problems wiping people's memories or moving them on.
Yeah, exactly, Sam. Eric is about 9 feet tall and huge, deformed, grotesque. Yeah. We haven't got a proper picture of him per se as yet, because he'd be very difficult to create. There is one of our comic artists did do an image of him, but he's very much in the shadow. But you get an idea. He's very disfigured.
Then that attack. They're trying to get rid of you.
You are mistaken. Such action would not have been sanctioned by Nexus, by me.
Wait. Karista and Nexus, they're the same thing.
They are a part of Nexus.
An alliance meant to protect this world. Your accusations make no sense.
You said it yourself.
So yeah, Nexus, they're a bunch of people with an ideal of making sure that you need to keep this world, safe as they can do, even if they've got slightly different goals or sometimes more extreme than others. But this agreement that they've had to make sure that the Dark Wilds don't spill over too far into our world and upset the balance and kill a lot of people in the process.
I need you to come clean, Eric. Why are they involved? And do they have Emily Hargreaves?
If that were the case, I would know.
Would you? You've been distracted, Eric. Sloppy, secretive, especially with the Hargreaves case. What is going on?
I have the situation under control. I believe Jason Priest to be involved with...
What?
I love this bit.
How do you know who Jason is?
No.
I mean to say...
You didn't. Tell me you didn't, Eric.
Didn't what?
Julie, you must understand.
Understand what?
Give me your phone.
Here.
Julie, wait.
I love how this unravels so quick.
Bastard.
Hello, Jess.
Paul? What the hell are you doing here?
That isn't Paul Williams. He's your fucking proxy, isn't he?
Proxy?
He possesses people.
And Sam's just, the venom in her voice is just, mwah, chef's kiss.
Never against their will. The Doctor...
And I have been working together for some time now.
Working together.
And this was fun as well, actually getting to sort of mix their lines between going between Dan to Johnny and back again.
Misunderstand.
Your current involvement with him
Was merely a coincidence. The Doctor agreed.
to allow me full control of his body.
This whole time. This whole fucking time.
Why? Why would you possess someone?
Surely that's plain to see. Look at me.
Look at my appearance. Thanks to my mutations, I am...
Barely able to move.
Release him. I said release him now.
Yeah, so the idea behind Eric was that he was going to be like the Professor Xavier sort of character, but having made a hell of a lot of questionable decisions,
Then that means
and his disfigurement
he's in
really
love with
gets the best of him emotionally.
I thought it was extreme when Paul told me that he loved her. They'd barely been on a few dates. I understand now.
You've been trapped here. Alone. You've been lonely, haven't you?
I can't begin to understand the burdens I have to carry. I simply wanted...
A human connection. A chance to feel something good again. I met her by chance.
And that was another thing I think we wanted to make this very sort of...
Gentle.
We wanted to keep the humanity in all the characters, even if they weren't human anymore, or even if they aren't sort of fundamentally human, is have very recognisable traits, problems, make very recognisable mistakes, and even to a degree understandable, even if they're very kind of
She thinks it's
misguided or worse in some cases.
not you.
It's my mind she knows. Not his.
Mine.
All his obsessive, erratic behavior.
And loneliness can do a number on someone, for sure.
You've been controlling him for months, and you've never given back control, have you? My God. You've violated him.
I'm afraid it's worse than you think.
Serafina.
You know her?
I am another working as part of this increasingly disastrous alliance.
And the rest of this episode... Hello, Alec. The rest of this episode is obviously all of our characters start coming together for the very first time in the series. And we really start getting an idea of they've all got their own objectives in one way or
No
another.
idea I was here, did you? I've been watching you, Eric. Watching your obsession over the girl grow and grow. At first, I was willing to look the other way. After all, I'm not completely devoid of feeling. But as time has gone on, your loneliness has evidently affected your judgment.
You know nothing. None of you.
Do not test my patience, Eric. You were supposed to be the wisest of us, the one to hold us together. But taking the Doctor's body and not returning control to him for all this time proves
What I
was
really
wrong.
enjoyed about Serafina here is that for a while, at least since she appeared in episode 9, was a lot of people, and by design, thought that she was the bad guy. She was the antagonist, and it turns out she's probably the most level-headed out of them all.
You poor lost fool. I have power. My loyalty lies in protecting this town.
Oh, thank you there, Alec. That's very generous of you. Thank you very much.
I am a guardian.
Guardian of the balance. I will not.
I cannot.
My God, Eric! Look what you're doing to yourself! To him!
You have been connected for too long. You will destroy his mind. Release him!
I cannot. Emily. She must be found. I need to know she is safe. I cannot live without her.
Eric, listen to her. This isn't you. This isn't the man I met all those years ago. The one who pulled me out of a living hell. You made me
It's a really good exercise to write ensemble scenes because you've got so many different voices going on and all trying to contribute to telling a story. And I think this is one of the biggest sort of learning curves I've had with the process of making this, is trying to find those different parts, those different voices, and make them quite distinct, especially in the way that they talk.
No! No!
I feel worse for Paul, but Eric's, yeah, kind of Eric too.
I will tell you where to find the girl.
What? You know where she is?
She has been my guest for some time now.
You took her.
I have protected her in my own way, at the request of Mei Ling, who very much...
Protect her from me.
I suspect Ms. Wilder knows the answer to that.
And now we're connecting the dots, which is also another fun part of writing this.
She...
Go on. It's all right.
Emily is a werewolf.
And that's the first time anyone said it for the entire season.
Lying.
You wanted to know why she pulled away from you. This is it. She wasn't running from anyone. From Jason, from you. She was trying to protect everyone from herself.
No! Oh, what have I done?
Doctor!
Is he alright? Is he dead?
No. I have a pulse. He's alive.
I will. Release him.
Finally, you have come to your senses.
What will you do with her? I know your hatred for their kind
That's something else we'll talk about in season 2.
rises in just a few hours.
Oh my god. You need to take us to her. We need to help her before it's too late.
The task before me is a simple one, and I do not need the complications of more company.
Tell me where she is.
You have a fine heart, Ms. Wilder, but no, you are out of your depth. You all are. Eric, you have a mess to clean up. We will speak again after this night is through, and then we will deal with Carista.
What was that? Where did she go? We need to get Emily. What did you mean that she hates their kind?
It is not my place to tell you. Suffice to say, she may be in danger.
Yes, there's a really big reason why Serafina hates werewolves, and I'm looking forward to telling that part of the story as well.
If she seeks to harm Emily, then there is no stopping her.
You fucked up, Eric. You really fucked up. But you can start by making all this right again and tell us where she is.
You don't understand. Her home is veiled, hidden. You cannot simply find it.
And I mentioned earlier that the pilot was 8 minutes long, and this episode is nearly an hour. So it's obviously a huge leap in terms of the amount of how long the episodes were. But what I can say for season 2 is that our episodes are consistently around the 35, 40 minute, sometimes slightly longer mark. So they're more of a consistent length overall. Because we were basically working out the whole thing as we were going with season 1. So yeah, I really feel like we're getting getting into the swing of it all.
And the moment we find out where Hargreaves is, you release the doctor immediately.
Very well.
I want your word.
In the name of God, in the name of those I have let down, I swear.
Right then.
We need to move. We're running out of time before the moon rises.
Let's go.
And with this short scene, we start playing with the idea, talking a little bit of the idea of why does the full moon trigger werewolves to transform?
Far.
What happened last time? Will she turn straight away?
It was dark for a while before she... You know... I think the moon has to be a certain height or something.
Her transformation will be triggered when the moon's power charges the world around us.
Charges?
Like a building current. Slowly, it emits the dark light, an invisible force that afflicts the cursed.
I don't understand.
Think of the moon as a filter. The pure light that our sun emits is caught by the moon, reflecting it, but changed by... Wait, turn here.
Jesus Christ! Can you not leave it until the last minute?
There. Ahead.
What? I don't see... Wait. I think I see it. In the distance, a manor house. But it's like it just faded into reality.
The veil. Magic employed to hide the building. It fades the closer we get to it.
Little bits of universe building here and there, just peppered around. Try not to be too expositional as much as possible anyway.
There. Your chains are as secure as I can make them. Are you alright?
Yeah.
And this is a long scene, and this probably took the most part of the work on this episode. I think this just one scene probably took a week and a half to edit in total, for various reasons. But we finally get everyone together, and then a lot happens.
Destroying my home? I think not.
She has a point.
I guess.
There. The artifacts are in place around the pentacle. We merely need wait for the moon to act upon you.
How is this going to work exactly?
Seraphina will hold you in place with a spell, and then begin the ritual in full. Once done, I shall extract your blood.
Extract? How?
Best I don't tell you right now.
Great.
Enough of this idle chatter. Let's get ready. Remove your clothing.
What? You didn't say anything about me being naked.
Surely you realize your transformation will ruin them.
You listen to me. After everything that I've been through over the last few months, I'm not about to shed the last bits of my dignity by standing out here with no clothes on.
We will sort something.
Fine, suit yourself.
Now listen to me.
And I thought that was an interesting thing to put for Emily, is that she's had so little control over anything that's happened to her for all these months. Like the last possible thing she could still have some control on, even if she knows they're all gonna get messed up, was to say, I'm not gonna just sacrifice my dignity by being naked. Just thought that was a really interesting idea to put forward.
2 spells at once. And if we stop at any point before completing it, the energy thrown out could kill both of us.
Emily, you can do this. I believe in you.
Thank you, May. For everything.
What? No encouragement for me?
做好准备.
Same to you. Very well. Brace yourself. It begins.
I can't move!
Now the challenge with this scene was you've got an action scene, which, you know, if you saw this visually, it would all make sense. But without the visual cues, we had to really think long and hard about how we could get the dialogue to work in favour of making sure everyone could imagine what's going on, and then enhancing that or making it clearer with the sound effects. You be the judge of how successful we were, I guess. So one thing Danny did well with this, as long as everything else, she always sold the werewolf transformations.
Ni are to talk say
No! No, this can't be.
Emily? No! Jess! Jess! Emily!
There's one thing that constantly surprises people is how much energy goes into the voice acting, and these guys give so much that they come out of every session that we do absolutely exhausted, because arguably they're having to give more than they would do if they were acting it for camera. It just, you need that much more energy to sell it, and yeah, everyone's consequently exhausted afterwards.
I'll be.
Especially if you're screaming like Danny does.
Emily!
Jesus Christ almighty.
Hold on, Emily!
Emily! No! No!
I'm sorry!
No! Emily! Serafina, stop! You're killing her!
And one of the things I enjoyed about this scene, post-editing it, was the music really added it stopped it. It wasn't necessarily horror anymore. It becomes more of a tragic, much more kind of a tragic tale, I guess, but also with a sort of feeling of adventure and the promise that maybe things will get better at some point.
Failing! I'm losing the main spell! Get over here! The binding spell is broken. Wait here!
Damn it, Eric! What's happening?
I don't know! The chains! They're coming loose! I can't hold it much longer! You need to do it!
And then we've got, obviously, the next big reveal.
What's she doing? Why is Mei Ling just kneeling?
Do it!
What the fuck? Jesus. Her skin.
It's splitting open.
She's growing.
Another wolf.
I don't... Wait. No. Look! White fur. Tails. It has 9 tails. It's the white fox. Jesus, it's her. Mei Ling is the white fox.
Look out! She's breaking free!
For hell's sake, Mei Ling, now!
They're ripping each other to pieces!
And the amount of layers on this track for the sound effects, insane.
Take the blood! Take the blood!
What are you talking about?
I need that blood, girl! Hurry!
I'm coming!
Got it! Quickly! Bring it here! Hobbs! The fox! Look out! Hobbs!
Go!
Well, what are you waiting for?
What are you gonna do to her?
No time! Give it to her!
Here!
Stand back! Mei Ling, take cover! Find them. All of them.
What?
Marsin say, Marsin are Shoka Siesta!
A lot of Seraphina's spell casts are a mixture of two different types of ancient Gaelic,
What did you
because
mean by finding
that's how nerdy we are.
What did you do?
What is needed?
No. Emily. Emily!
No! Stay away from her!
No, no! What have you done?
And if you listen carefully, that behind Fen Fen's English, she's also doing the lines in Chinese, just echoing in the background.
She lives.
We have to help her.
Not now. She may still wake before the sun rises. Go. Take Pops and go indoors. I'll put chains back on and stand guard over her.
It was you. On the moors. You saved me.
Go. I will explain in the morning.
Can we trust her? The woman.
You can trust me. Go.
If there's one thing we had to have for our finale was a big crescendo, as in the form of an action scene, bring everyone together and have just this kind of big thing happen, and then, but not just end it there. We still wanted to pull another couple of gut punches, if we could fit him in.
All right. Believe it or not, I have had worse.
Come on. Let's get you inside.
Did you make it, Emily?
Marvellous. More guests. Ah, you're still alive.
What did you do to her?
I told you before. They need to be found. All of them.
And that's going to be a huge thing for future. Keep that one in mind.
The sun's finally rising.
Wilder, look. Emily.
She's changing back.
Here, give her this.
Robes.
Go and dress the girl.
That spell of yours, the ritual, you said you changed it to find not...
This song, I'll point out, is by an artist called Metaforest, who she's also a filmmaker herself, Sarah Daly, and yeah, she was kind enough to let us use this track in the episode because it just perfectly summed up, I think, this point in Emily's journey, which was great.
What I have done is in the name of our mission, Eric. And besides, I had a debt to pay.
The girl. Is she in danger?
From me? No. I will not harm her. For now.
What a great voice, eh?
Emily.
She will be alright, despite her injuries.
That night on the moors. Afterwards. You brought her here?
Yes, I had intended to trap her that night and take her to Serafina. But then you showed up.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
She will have much to learn.
Jess has gone from 0 to 60 with this whole supernatural thing as well. It's like, she went from not believing Emily was a werewolf to suddenly going, oh, right, giant talking white fox creatures now.
Changed the spell, right?
I can sense in Emily something new, but I do not feel it to be sinister. Go, dress her.
Hey! Hey, take it easy.
Some good emotional bits in this. Really enjoyed this.
Let me put this on you.
I thought. I'd lost you.
I'm here. I'll always be here.
Welcome back, Emily.
Jess?
What is?
She's a friend.
Emily,
Paul. You're here.
forgive me. I just wanted to see you. One last time.
She definitely did learn the hard way.
Look after Jess.
I will.
Paul,
Goodbye. I
And we just had to get this in. One last gut punch.
love you.
Where are you going?
He has been released.
What's happening to him? Paul?
Careful, Doctor. Let me help you sit up.
Mei Ling. What happened? Why are you... Where am I?
We have much to discuss.
Paul! You're okay?
Paul!
Paul, forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I pushed you away.
I feel so bad about this.
I think I love you too.
I'm sorry, but... Who are you?
And there we go. Into our coda. Bit of a setup here for season 2. Also love the music here as well.
Get off me!
Love that sound effect.
Hello?
Just the dush and then the creaking.
Someone there?
It's great.
Hello?
Mr. Priest.
Who's there? Come in here.
I love the way Johnny says that as well. It's like, he says it with such disgust.
Are you still there? Fucking help me!
I will assist you, Mr. Priest. But first, I have something I would like to propose.
And then into our last scene with Evangeline, Callista, who we mentioned earlier, and another character that's going to be very prominent in season 2, Natalie.
Well then, by all means, show her in. There she is. Finally.
I'm sorry for how late I am. I ended up further away last night than I'd planned.
You may leave us.
Aye, mistress.
Did you make contact?
Yes. Yes, mistress. At the gym. But Jess left before I...
So there was always this talk throughout the season of Jess's investigation of Callista Company. And again, we were breadcrumbing that, making sure we were focusing on more sort of Emily's plight and her kind of being pulled left, right and centre. But now this Callista thing is definitely going to become much more prevalent, much more important. And yeah, again, super excited to tell that part of the story too.
Yes, of course, mistress. I'm just tired after last night. The travel made me...
Good. I'd hate to have to see you return to London, tail between your legs.
No, I'm really at your service.
Do make sure to shut the door on your way out.
Yes. Of course. Thank you, mistress.
It's Evangeline. Oh, yes.
And of course we've got Evangeline's Scottish accent to top it off.
Good news. I do believe we can proceed to phase 2.
And phase 2 is a little bit of an in-joke. Obviously we were saying we're going to start a season 2. We just called it phase 2. But yeah, there's plans within plans with the Callistas. What could they be? So there you go. Wow. That's actually a lot of fun to talk about, and I do listen to these occasionally from time to time, especially when we're preparing our season 2 scripts, which are in full flow at the moment. And yeah, but I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you've enjoyed this complete experiment. As with this entire thing, TFD has always been a big experiment, just building on something, seeing where we can go with it, seeing what characters, what interesting stories, what interesting images, and trying to work out how we can take this into some kind of live action thing. We talk about the possibility of a live action, and a lot of it obviously comes down to resources. The film world isn't what it used to be in terms of budgets and things and selling stuff, but you know, we're trying to do this on an indie level and building a fan base with people like yourselves, who I'm super grateful to, that you've taken time out of your evening to join me in trying this little experiment out, this stream today. So thank you very much. Wow, I've been going an hour and a half. Well, the episode was an hour, so I guess that makes sense. Did anyone have any other questions they wanted to ask before I guess wrap up for the evening? Well, it's evening here. It's 9:30 at night here. So, but yeah, did anyone have any other questions? Of course, I think we'll do this again. But if you have any questions that, for whatever reason, I don't manage to answer today, or if you think of anything in the meantime, come find us on social media. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we're naturally on Patreon. You don't have to join as a paid tier. We also have free membership, to which you can at least participate in some polls, get some up-to-date news and things like that. We also have our Discord, so come find us on Discord. Makeup test on DeviantArt. I think I know which image you mean. Let me refresh my memory. I'm not always a fan with what they post on there, to be honest. Oh yes, that one. Right. Okay. What did you want to know from? What did you want to know about the makeup test? That particular image, anyway. And then Eric, what was yours, mate? Oh yes, about the teeth. A werewolf transformation where the werewolf loses their original human teeth, popping out and growing. So is that? I mean, that's a hell of an effect, practical effect to pull off. It's quite a gory one. I've seen that a few times in stuff, but who knows? Certainly possible. We'll just have to see. How much depth was the makeup on Danny? That particular day, so we had a test of predominantly the hair. So she had a load of this hair appliance sort of covering her sides of her face, her neck. I think they got as far as her arms and her upper torso. And that even that took hours and hours and hours. But that particular image that you're referring to is probably 80% practical. So I hope that answers your question. But as we, with the other R&D things that we do in future for that crucial werewolf transformation, we'll be looking at more facial prosthetics, ear prosthetics. Obviously, we've got the dentures, there's nose, there's brows, there's the spine. The special effects makeup artist we're working with, a lady called Alicia, she's will be hopefully, again, budget dependent, we'll be manufacturing a lot of stuff, and yeah, it's working out how to create this the best possible effect we can come up with, really. And we'll share that we'll share that journey, I guess, with you as much as we possibly can do. We won't always reveal everything that we're doing, because we test for a reason, and sometimes tests just don't work. And there's no point really sharing that stuff with you guys, because we always want things to be polished. That goes for the episodes, that goes for the graphic novel, that goes for, even these tests, as long as it's at least this cool. But as we work it out, we're trying to grow our following, we're trying to grow our the amount of money that we can put into the pot to make this bigger and bigger and bigger. As we can do more, we will do more, and we'll share the best bits with you guys, and then, yeah, hopefully we get ourselves into a position that a live action thing happens. The question is, what's that live action thing going to look like? Is it going to be a pilot? Is it going to be a feature? Is it going to be a video game? We'll see. Yeah, the eyes are pretty cool in that. As a digital effect, I thought that sold really well, actually. So I was pretty happy with the way that they turned that one out. Really cool. Have her fingernails popping off. Eric. I love it. It's great. Crack. I believe... Was it one of the episodes when Emily was turned into the werewolf in her car? And I think there was a following episode where Hobbs said, or an officer says to Hobbs, forensics found bits of human fingernails. So I think we'd established that, like, the fingernails split open and things like that. So yeah, kind of painful. So, but there we go. As to how we'll achieve any kind of live action thing, watch this space. But for the time being, anyway, yeah, we're hard at work on getting season 2. We've got some really fantastic episodes of season 2 already. I think if you found the end of season 1 emotional, we don't even get halfway in season 2, and there's a couple of moments in those episodes that, yeah, they're brutal in terms of emotionally, just ouch, but great. We've got some phenomenal actors, some phenomenal people in this, both, in front of the microphone and working with us, and I'm so grateful to them. I'm so grateful to you all for being part of this journey. How are you showing muscle growth? I have no idea. I have no clue because, there's always ideas. However we do show, I mean, what's worth remembering with the werewolf is that Emily, the character, is obviously the same build and height as Danny, the actress, and Danny's like 5'3", I think. And the werewolf, we said, was always going to be big, powerful. The werewolf is like a 7-foot. It's a 7-foot monster. So how do you go from being a 5'3" woman, a petite woman, to a hulking 7-foot werewolf? Well, they've got to pack on some muscle pretty fast there. Yeah. So how we do that, I'm not sure. As long as it looks good, I don't care. Have a good night, Eric. Yes, I will definitely check out the Japanese demon creature. That sounds fascinating. And yeah, I think we'll wrap that up for tonight. So again, thanks all so much for being a part of this this further experiment. If you've got any feedback, obviously let us know. If you're a member of our Patreon, I do plug the Patreon a lot because that's super important to us. Come find us, join for free, or if you feel so inclined, become a full resident and support us. Because yeah, the thing that makes this series isn't just, well, it's not just me, and it's not even just our actors, it's all of you. You are just as important to this project as all of this. And this is why I like to refer to our supporters as residents, because you are part of our town, our fictional Davidstown. So thank you for that. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to head off. I think I've got some beers in the fridge. I'm going to go collapse and watch some anime. So thanks very much, everybody. And yeah, good night. See you again soon.